Hi, it's Kathy from Raven Vintage. Welcome back to 100 Days of Envelope Ideas for Junk Journals. And today I am going to start with day one of possibly 2, maybe 4 days of Edith Holden envelopes. So this is more of a craft with me. We won't be doing anything too fancy dancy with the envelopes as far as structure goes, but I just thought I would really like to include some Edith Holden in this series just because she's one of our favorites. And what more beautiful thing, or sometimes people are a little bit intimidated about using their Edith Holden book, and I just want to show you ways in which I use it. I have multiple copies. I have one copy that was gifted to me by a friend that I will not cut up or touch. That will remain in my library, but I do have multiple copies. So please do not come at me for cutting up an Edith Holden book. Please do not. There's multiple copies out there in the world, so it's okay. And I'm shining light on Edith Holden by using her images that she painted in this video that will be seen by many more people than this book. Okay. Blah, 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 blah. Well, not her book in entirety, but I'm just talking about the project we're doing. Okay. So I would like to just use some papers from my collection that I think are suitable for... Oh, I really like these ones. Suitable for these pages. So let's start with those. Let's get away from the pinks and blues for a bit. Let's get into some more warm tones here. Oh, there's a pink and blue right there. All right. How about those right there? I like this. Okay, so of course, we're going to do a background page in our book. Our envelope for my book needs to be up and down, and we'll just do a typical flip. How's that sound? Typical flip. So let's start by covering our envelope. Now, if I'm going to glue this down in my book using the flap to glue it down, I do not need to decorate that side of the flap. I will want something inside there, and we will decorate this and the front. Okay, so let's start with that. I think we'll just start. So Edith Holden's quite an interesting character. I know she lived to be 49 years old. She drowned. Now it said that she had a headache that day, and they're not sure if that contributed to her drowning, but she was nonetheless near a river, or obviously, and drowned. So very, very sad circumstances, but we can only guess if she was out in nature, she may have been doing something she loved just prior to her death. So of course she didn't become famous with this book until after she had passed away. She wouldn't have known how popular her book became with all of her illustrations. However, her father was an author, and I'm not sure. I should really look into this, and maybe one day we'll actually do a whole video about Edith Holden. But it's my understanding that her mother had passed away, I think, from cancer, and the family became, or they were, or became, however you want to look at it, spiritualists, meaning they had a relationship with, or they communicated with her mother after death through seances and that sort of thing. So I don't know if you knew that her family, they were spiritualists, and actually it was her father that wrote the book. Oh, what was it called? I've never read it, but something about messages from beyond, or something like that. So very interesting indeed. She was she taught arts for a few years, I know that. And I do believe she had some sisters that were also illustrators. She did do some work for magazines, that sort of thing. But what we know her from is this book. And of course, there's the nature notes. And then I also have copies of the book about her. So I will look more into that, and we'll just do an Edith Holden video one of these days. I'm not an expert, but I certainly enjoy using her her beautiful artwork in my journals. Okay, so I'm just going to trace this one and cut that to go inside. I like to use, as you'll see when we decorate this, I like to use the page numbers. I like to use the words and all the text in that, the diary book. One thing I really love to do is make like coin envelope style using her images. I'll show you one. I've got my swan journal out just to show you exactly that. Well, that was a bit of a struggle. That didn't work out, but that's okay. We'll get it. We'll fix it. Okay, so I marked my spot here. So this here is what I would refer to as a coin envelope. So you can see that I use some faux vintage tape on here that I made. And you can see this is flipped up at the bottom. It's obviously right from the book, so it has text on one side, so that's kind of neat. When you flip up the lip of the envelope, that's what it looks like. And then this is just simply a page number, so just cut out from here a page number, and then I've put like a little bit of canvas material behind that. I love to use the page numbers, but that is just one image, and you can see how it's just folded back to make that coin envelope. I do believe I have a video on this. I know I have a reel about making coin envelopes, but I'll check. If I do, I'll link it. If not, maybe we'll do that one day after the series. But yes, I absolutely love doing that with Edith Holden. Edith Holden pages. One of my favorite things to do. So what's your favorite thing to do with Edith Holden? Just use the page? Do you make tags? Tell me in the comments, what do you like to use your Edith Holden books for? And I do want to say, if you are someone who doesn't believe that it's okay to cut up books like that, I respect that, but I also ask you to be respectful of anyone in the comments that does. Please and thank you. And you are welcome to your opinion and say such that you do not like to do it, as long as you say it in a nice way. I can, because I can understand that. Absolutely. I'm not saying that if anyone is wrong one way or the other. Obviously, I don't think I'm wrong for doing this. Recycle. We've touched on this before. I think most people in the junk journal world are okay with the upcycling of books. The comments tend to come from people that are not of our junk journal community. So I actually made a little bit of a sassy reel about that one time. It's probably about the most cranky you'll ever see me, on here at least. Okay, so we have that part done. Just close up my glue. Now let's find an appropriate decor to go with our pretty paper. Oh, I already, look at that. Well, that would be a real time saver. I've got that one cut out already. Maybe we'll use that on the inside. Yes, let's use that on the inside. Oh, I just love this. This is appropriate for May. It's not really the colors I'm doing right now. Isn't that beautiful? Let's use this one. Oh, so pretty. Okay. These little guys, little garden fairies or something. I'm just reading. So cute. April Fool's Day. Oh, that's so cute. So cute. All right, that's going to give us a shadow. Okay, so because the paper itself, the pages are yellowed, we don't need to worry about white space. So I just want to decide what I'm going to keep out of, let's make this into a pocket and just kind of trim around like that. So for starters, we'll just trim off the bottom. How much of this is going to fit? I'm going to cut off some of it this way. We'll save the April part. We'll hang on to those. Okay, so what do you think? We could kind of come around these flowers like this. Yeah, let's do that. Let me put my glasses on because I want to get... Okay. I'm not going to fussy cut like right to the edge of the image. I'm just leaving a small little margin around it. For now, let's cut right around this one. Might change my mind. Just cut some of this off. It's a little easier to manage. Most definitely we'll come back and make some more cuts, but let's start with this. I feel like this is just a little bit much, so I want to cut that so that it kind of looks normal, like it's meant to be that way. Just kind of made my own leaf shape there. Like that. So that is really cute. Okay, so I'm just going to fold that right to the edge. Very pretty. Okay, I think I'm going to come around here. Just fix one of my folds there. And just to show a little bit more of that pretty background paper. Okay, and I will give this a little bit of an edge to glue around. And let's ink. I never say that I'm using vintage photo. I just assume you know that that's the color I use all the time. If I ever do a different color, that's when you'll hear me say what the color of the ink is. Otherwise, just assume I'm always using vintage photo. I see no reason to do anything different. That will help that stand out just a little bit more. Sorry, I hope that's not loud. Very pretty. We'll do the inside, and then we'll come back and we'll add maybe 1 or 2 more items to the outside from the Edith Holden book. Okay, let's see. So I've got a little bit of a lip to wrap that around. Bring that down. It's really pretty. I could cut out some of the grass so you can see the envelope beneath. No, I'm just going to go straight across because I'm going to use it like a pocket. Okay. Great. So let's glue right down this side. And of course we're going to glue the flap that folds over right across what's going to be the bottom of the pocket, and then up the side. That's really pretty. I just thought this would be a nice change from the kits we've been using. Okay. That's a little bit of an overhang. Take care of that real quick. Okay, really pretty. So I've mentioned before about collaging and covering paper up and how much of a waste. So if I had have decided on this piece first, I probably would have only, my background page, I probably only would have made it this big and cut off this much. It just feels like wasting paper to me. I don't know. I just can't seem to get past that. But anyway. Okay, so this is how that's going to go down in the book. Just want to work this crease back and forth a little bit. Okay, and then let's decide what we're going to put in our book. So it's a really nice compliment to how I did this cover too. So we need a lovely background page. What do you think? 1, 2, let's see. 1, 2, or 3. I think that's kind of blends in. This is kind of a nice contrast. Yeah, let's use the more contrasting one for now. If I was doing a journal, I'd probably do that together, but for my book of ideas, I want this to show up in the video really well. So I am going to use the more contrasting color. I've been skipping this part in the videos about covering my book because I just feel like it's I've been trying to do that ahead of time to save time in our videos, but this idea just spurred on me about the Edith Holden, so I didn't really have time to prepare. So this background paper, these papers are from the attic collection. So if you look at my vintage collections on my Etsy shop, that's the attic papers. There's a bunch of them. And I think this one might be the one called Marmalade. I'm not sure. I'd have to double check. But you know what I'm going to do is I'll put the attic papers on sale. So when you go to my page, my Etsy shop, and click on the left there, what's on sale, they should show up there. Are you guys in the habit of doing that? Checking this, you can filter and search by what's on sale. Try that one more time. There we go. A little better. So when I add papers to my book here, they're just a little bit wide. Like you can see my project there from yesterday. So they're just a little bit wide. So I just need to trim them up. But the height is perfect. So that saves me a little bit of time. Not that I'm too worried about it because, like I said, it's a book of ideas. It's not a journal. Okay, but how pretty. So pretty. Okay, we'll do it on this side. It's going to be like that. So nice. All right, so let's decorate the inside then. Let's use an entire Edith Holden page. And then, like I said, we could do this. I have to trim off some of that left side there. But we can do that. That's pretty. Inside, or maybe we could just, maybe just decorate the page. It's just so pretty. Let's just, I don't know what to do. Maybe I'll save that. I don't know. I don't know. Okay, let's do a page. Pardon my excitement. It's just so, okay, so we could do some text. That would be really pretty. You know what, I'm just going to see if I can find any loose pages that I already have pulled. Maybe that was, oh, at the back I do. Well, that's one I had cut out. It's not going to fit. If I'm going to do text, I would want to use, oh, the indexes. Oh, they are so cool. I'm going to save those for journals. Okay, so if I'm going to use a text page, I think I'll use one that has no illustration on the other sides. So let's just start back here. Like this and this. I know it says January, but we're not really concerned, are we? Okay, so I'm just going to we'll start with this size and see how we make out. Kind of got myself boxed in here a little bit. Like that. I do kind of want that cut out though. Do I have, yeah, I've got a template right here. Just make sure it's the right. Probably end up doing something like that. Whatever white shows on here, we'll just trim off. I like it. Okay, we'll save that template. Not enough there to save, so I'll get rid of that right now. Well, let's wait to ink this side because I might trim it. Well, no, it's just the white I'm going to trim, right? So maybe I can ink this now. Let's try that. I haven't given up on that craft tape. I just trying to make it last. I'm trying to use it up but make it last at the same time because we have what, another 30 some odd days left. So yeah, that's pretty. So yes, if you have an Edith Holden book that you have started using pages from, this will be a good way to use up some of those text pages too. Because we're always just, you know, going for the beautiful images. She, her artwork, but I find that this font. Now, does anybody know? Is the diary, was that written for the book? Is that, or is that her actual writing? Does anybody know? The book was published in 77. (1977), right? So it's possible that, I don't know. I have never read that. Do we know? Do we know the answer to that? I'll have to do some research on that. we'll talk about that in a... Okay, so that's going to go. So let's get this glued in and then we will decorate it. Exciting. Exciting. So pretty. I want it right over to the left edge so that it doesn't interfere with closing the book. Okay. Let's get it right down. Oh, it's so pretty. I'm so glad I decided to do this. I know, like I said, it's not really anything like a skill or a it's more of a craft with me, but why not? Why can't we do craft with me's in the 100-day project? It does not have to be a tutorial, right? I guess I get kind of caught up with that. Like I need to teach something. I need to show us, I need to do a tutorial, but I don't. We can certainly do craft with me's. And after 60 some odd ideas, there might be a few more craft with me's because there's only so many things we can do with that shape. Okay, so pretty. So pretty. Now it is May, but we could certainly pretend it's still April. Well, I'm going to tell you, technically it is. It's April 30th when I'm filming this. I'm filming ahead. As you can imagine, I need to sometimes. But this is the week I want to be, I'm working on my 5,000 subscriber celebration video, so I have time right now to do this. So technically it is April. Oh, that's pretty right there, isn't it? Okay. And then we'll do something on the inside. Now, if you want, we can put something pretty behind that. Like, let's not overthink it, Kathy. Right up in the corner. Cute. Okay. I wish I had something coming out the bottom, but that's all right. We don't need to do everything. Okay, and then the inside, it needs something there. So let's find, perhaps there was that blue bird, which would look really nice with the... Where do we want him again? Yeah, I think that's just beautiful like that. Put down. Gorgeous. So pretty. And now this needs something, and I think we should do some sort of bluey something again. I don't know if I'm in frame, sorry. There. Before you toss these away, perhaps you might want to cut out some of the words like great and wild, today, great again. morning, sun. Like these are, you could cut those out and it might be kind of relaxing, like early morning, sun. Just got to take a look and be surprised at what you might find. Like that, we'll just put that right on there. Early morning sun. That's really sweet. There, right there, I think is good. Down below, up here. Kind of like it right here. Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed that craft with me kind of envelope day, but this is going to be just Edith Holden 1, 2, 3, 4. I think that's what we'll do. That's what we'll call these. I think they're absolutely beautiful, and the attic papers look so nice with the Edith Holden colors. Really quite lovely. So even when we get into the pinks and the blues and the Edith Holden, the other attic papers, there's a whole bunch of them. But this series right here, but I will put them on sale in my Etsy shop. But even still, your best deal is to use that coupon code Raven6 and get a bunch of them at once, and then they're only a couple bucks a piece. And these pages, oh goodness, that would be a great thing to have in your stash that you could use over and over and over again, either as covers, background pages, backgrounds for tags, you name it. They're just so beautiful. Okay, so I hope you join me tomorrow for Edith Holden part 2. Take care. Bye.